Hey guys, Pace Morby here, and I've got Michael Hansen here hanging out. We have a question that everybody always asks. How the heck do you run so many businesses and it doesn't seem like you're actually ever working? You're just doing YouTube content all the time. Well, you guys aren't wrong, but there's a big reason for that. We have people that help us, and Michael here is actually a fractional CFO.
I am.
Do most people even know what the heck a fractional CFO is?
I don't know. We get the question a lot, but it kind of makes sense. Fractional. We work with more than one business so that you don't have to go and.
What's a CFO?
So a CFO is a chief financial officer.
Okay, so
generally speaking.
This is something I wish I knew when I was first starting out.
Okay.
First person I should probably hire to help me manage my financing is what? Or my finances? Bookkeeper?
A bookkeeper. A good
Okay, so
bookkeeper.
I'm going to start
Absolutely.
bookkeeper, right?
Yep,
So I've got a
absolutely.
bookkeeper. For anybody that needs a bookkeeper, StartVirtual is where we get our bookkeepers. If you are brand new, like just doing a couple deals a year, you should have a bookkeeper, because most of you guys, I promise you, you will like not file your taxes for 2 years because you're like, well, I'm too busy doing deals that I haven't actually looked at my finances. Get a freaking bookkeeper, okay? Right out of the gate. Bookkeeper, and then you get busier. What is typically something that people hire?
Honestly, by the time we see people, oftentimes they haven't even hired a bookkeeper.
Really? Okay,
right.
Cool. This is great information. I love this. Okay.
And if they have hired them, they haven't placed a lot of emphasis on the quality that they're getting. So by the time we get clients, they're ready to move to that next level. First thing we do,
get them a
make sure
bookkeeper.
they've got the right bookkeeper.
Okay, so here's something that's very important, guys. You're never going to be successful in this journey on your own. Think about like Elon Musk. I know you don't all want to be Elon Musk, but do you think he puts tires on the cars? Do you think he does the painting? Do you think he does the financing? No, you have to hire people. And one of the hardest things to hire for is getting people on top of your finances. So bookkeeper, super important, even when you're brand new. And CFO, I don't think people even know what the heck a CFO is. Can you tell people what a CFO is and what a CFO does?
Absolutely. So traditionally in a corporate world, a CFO would be up in the C-suite of a corporation.
What's a C-suite?
So the C-level executives like the CFO, CEO, COO, you think of them in the top management, right? One of the top management positions. What we have actually done at Simple CFO is we've tried to redefine what it means to actually be a CFO, but also who we work with.
Okay.
So we work with Main Street entrepreneurs, Main Street, primarily real estate investors.
Love it.
At a level that makes sense to them. So whether they're just getting started or they've already realized a level of success, our job is to just take them to that next level from a financial perspective.
Okay, so most of the people in our audience are probably, there's only 3 ways to make money in real estate. So you've got wholesalers.
Yep.
A lot of wholesalers. This is probably where like 80% of people really start, is in wholesale. Then you get people that start fixing and flipping, and they might be doing these things simultaneously. And then you got a lot of buy and holders as well. Okay. What I see is most people are going out and they're like, I'm going to do my bookkeeping myself. I get QuickBooks, or what's another thing besides QuickBooks, like Peachtree or something?
Yep, Peachtree, and there are Xero.
Okay.
There's several different packages.
Here's the percentage of times that you guys should open up any of those softwares. 0. He just said it. 0. You should not have your own QuickBooks. You should not have Peachtree. You should not have Xero. If you guys have your own software and you're going through and doing all this stuff yourself, stop it. You're not meant for that. You need to go out and make money in your business. I can tell you, when you're managing your finances, you're not making money, you're managing money. And for us, for a couple $100s a month, it makes sense for us to make sure we have a bookkeeper. And then when you're ready to go and hire not a full CFO, because we couldn't afford you. I can tell you right now, we couldn't afford this guy. That's why we use him in a fractional sense of the word. That's why he's called a fractional CFO. So do most of your clients, are they all making like $25 billion a year? Like, what's the average client that you have hire you? Under $1 million?
I don't know that the average is under $1 million, but we have many clients that are well under $1 million. We have clients that start out at a couple $100,000. It's more about
a year. That's not a month. That's a year. A couple $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So if you're a wholesaler, that means 4, maybe 5 deals in a year. If you're a fix and flipper, that probably means 3 to 4 deals in a year. You should probably get somebody who is fractionally helping you guide your finances.
That's really what it is. And we have packages for everyone.
Okay.
Our average and our target is probably between $1 million and $5 million a year is
Got it.
the top level service that we do, but that's not our most popular package. Our most popular packages are for Main Street investors that are from getting started, moving to that next level.
So I just went to a seminar myself. I spent like 20 grand going to a seminar for the last 3 days. And one of the people that were teaching in there were talking about how there's these breaking points in revenue, different revenue plateaus. Yep. So one plateau is like, I'm brand new in business. I need to hit the $100,000 mark. Okay, well, the biggest issue, the biggest breaking point in that business is going to be you actually getting off your couch, not watching my YouTube channel and going out and taking some freaking action. Okay. But when you get into the next plateau, which would probably be $500,000 to $1 million, it starts coming down to, do you have an assistant? Do you have somebody that's actually doing your bookkeeping and helping you guide your finances? Because a lot of people will take money in and they don't know how to actually place it in the appropriate places. Taxes, profit, how do I pay myself? One of the most common questions I get for those people in that breaking point, like $500,000 to $1 million a year in revenue, they go, how am I supposed to pay myself? Does this money just stay inside the business account and it just keeps going on a loop? And then one day I sell the business for $7 billion and that's the first day I get a paycheck? Literally. Do you get that question a lot too?
It's huge. In fact, one of the foundational pieces of our business is to help business owners early understand the importance of taking what they've earned, okay? So a lot of people getting started, and even those that have been in it for a while, get into this bad habit of just recycling the money, living off the crumbs, thinking that someday they're gonna have this big payday, when in fact, that's the biggest way to burn yourself out.
So this is an interesting story. So Cody Barton, my partner, look at him right here, by the way, just look at this. This is what I have to deal with in a partner, okay?
I have my shoes on.
He has his shoes on today. Cody and I, when we first started in our business, we were doing really a decent amount of deals, but we weren't taking any money. In fact, we were like, how is it that we don't have any money? It wasn't that we had money in the account. It was like money was everywhere but the account, and money was coming in weekly, if not sometimes daily, and we just seemed to never have any money. And I came from the old adage of like, just work harder, it'll work itself out, which is like what all of our parents taught us to do. And I learned bad financial habits from my parents, and I can guarantee you did too. I don't care who you are. Even if you are a CFO watching this video right now, you probably have bad habits, okay? And we all learned them from our parents, so I'm not blaming you. I had bad habits from my parents. So Cody goes, we need to follow a model called Profit First, which is a model that you guys really hammer home. And actually, you guys invented?
No, we didn't invent it. Mike McAllowitz basically was the one that invented Profit First, but we adapted his teachings. And
they perfected it. He invented it, they perfected it.
For real estate investors, I will agree with you.
Okay,
right
cool.
there.
So for a real estate investor, what does that mean? What was the big difference with Cody and I going from, I know we're generating revenue, but I'm never seeing any money in my personal bank account, and my wife is wondering, where's all the money for all the time you're sacrificing away from the family, to now, it's like autopilot. I don't even know how much money we have in the bank account, but last time I checked, it's like a lot of money in the bank accounts in our businesses, and it's thanks to you. And it's not necessarily that we made more money, it was that we got out of our own way, which then the business allowed us to make more money. So what are some of the common things that people are doing incorrect when they're generating money in their business?
Yeah, there's a few things. The primary thing that people are doing incorrectly is that they're commingling everything. And when I mean commingling, they're commingling money, they're commingling their thought processes around their money. And because why? They're using one big bucket, okay? So they're using one big bucket of money.
I like this. This is classic pace mistake right here.
And they're making multiple decisions on the same dollar. They decide.
This is a lot. Hold on, let's unpack this for just a second. So first thing he says is that they commingled funds, okay? So you guys remember, there's no commingling when you went to school. There's a girl's bathroom and a boy's bathroom, okay? In finances, we're talking about personal and business. So what people do, this is something I did, by the way. Cody had to call me and yell at me. We had money in the account that came into our business account, and I'm over in California, and I go to walk up to Disneyland, the counter, and I pull out my wallet and I go, oh, I don't have my personal debit card. No big deal. I'll pay for Disney tickets and food all day long on the company card. That's called commingling. You can't do that, guys. So what should we be doing instead of just using our business debit card to spend money at Disneyland or grocery stores or whatever it is that people are doing?
So you're right. And personal and business commingling is something that people can, even though most entrepreneurs do it early on, they can break that habit. That's an easy one to break because it's an easy one to see. create a couple of different vehicles that you can comfortably spend personally and on the business. That's really easy.
So it doesn't mean stop spending money on your personal stuff. It just means do it the appropriate way and make sure you can sleep right at night. Guys, I'm 39 now. For 34 years, I couldn't sleep at night because I didn't have profit first in my life. Like, that's how important profit first really has been for our business. So commingling funds, you said. The second thing you said was?
Well, the one thing though is it's not the personal and the business commingling that's the problem. It's either if you have multiple companies, commingling those funds, but also within an individual single business, just getting started, single business, it's commingling the use of those funds. So what that means is, if you just break it into two simple categories, project money and operational money. If you commingle those, which if you have a single bank account, you're going to commingle them. That means that you're going to be making decisions for your projects with the same money that you're making decisions with your operational, meaning who do we hire, how do we run our business. And so by separating those and putting a few rules around those two different buckets, those are just 2 of 8 buckets that we create.
Here's a great example of that, because most people watching are like me, back like 10 years ago when I was running my construction company. If I heard, well, you got to have project money and operational money, I'm like, dude, it's the same. There's $500 in this account and $500 in this account. It's $1,000. Just put in one account that has $1,000. You're thinking that that's not that much of a paradigm shift. It is dramatically different. What I did in my construction business is I was making decisions looking at one bank account going, well, payroll's coming up and this is coming up, but I really need to do this thing over here and buy a new truck and a this, that, and the other. And I was literally making all my decisions looking at one bank account and not understanding the timing, and there was no buffer. It was like I was living paycheck to paycheck for my entire business, and we were doing $12 million a year in revenue. That's some knucklehead stuff, guys. Don't do that. So you're talking about commingling not just personal and business funds, but even business and business funds, project versus operations.
Yeah, and what happens is that $1,000 example that you gave, you'll actually spend $1,500 because you won't have kind of a sense.
Are you guilty of this? If you're guilty of this, make a comment down below and say, guilty, I'm guilty. I should have literally like 5,000 comments right now. You guys are all guilty of this right now.
Every entrepreneur we work with, to a certain extent, is.
I love it. And some people
Which is okay.
It's okay until it's not, okay? It gets to a point where it's not.
It's curable.
If I could go back and do it over, one of the first hires I would have ever done was hire a bookkeeper. Now, where I had a really hard time is my dad was the CFO of a company called Rockford Fosgate. And I knew how much my dad made at Rockford Fosgate. Made a couple $100,000 a year. So when people tell me, go hire a CFO, I'm thinking a couple $100,000 a year for one person. Guys, this is why you get a fractional CFO. And then also, I knew my dad had bookkeepers working underneath him in his department that were all making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. And when you start your business and your business only has $100,000 a year in revenue, you can't afford to pay somebody $70,000 payroll. This is why having bookkeepers that are outsourced, if we go to StartVirtual, couple $100 a month to have them run our business's books. Couple $100. You guys supersized more meals at $200 this month than I paid for a bookkeeper for one of my businesses. Then the other thing is, we don't know how to manage our money, which is sad to say. We need somebody like you that goes, well, you need to plan for growth and future expansion. You need to plan for this. You need to have a buffer. You need to have those types of things. How often are you meeting with Cody? Because you don't meet with me ever.
Good point. When we started out, we were meeting about maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. Now we're on a system where we meet weekly.
Wow.
And that's our planned meeting. And then
are we making more money than when you first started with us?
You are.
Amazing.
But that's because you're great at making money. Just like everyone out there is probably great at making money. It's keeping some of it that I try to help with.
Yes. And actually, and managing where it's supposed to go. Guys, just like your dad and your mom gave you poor financial habits, you need somebody to give you good habits. Even I'm 40 and I feel like I'm just starting out understanding how finances work and how to manage stuff. And this is why hiring a fractional CFO is so important.
Yeah, and the other part of it is working with somebody that speaks your language. Oftentimes what we battle against is the next, besides a bookkeeper, of course, you don't forget we have an accountant or a tax advisor, right? The thing that we try and fix is the communication issues. because people at that level oftentimes, even though they have the ability, sometimes have difficulty communicating with the entrepreneur themselves.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur doesn't want to kind of give away that they really don't understand what this person's saying, so they just shake their head and
admit that you don't know shit. That's what I tell people. Just admit that you don't know shit. So many times people are like ostrich with their head in the sand, and they'd rather not say anything and pretend like they know something than just be honest and move past the problem. Guys, we don't mind problems in our business. We mind the same problems over and over. And right now, you are one of your biggest problems, meaning you won't just admit that you don't know this stuff. Just like I didn't admit until I was probably 35 that I didn't know a lot of this stuff, and I had to finally learn and be told how these departments communicate with each other, and that's how you ultimately grow. People think when you get into wholesaling, fixing and flipping, and buying and holding, they think that they're going to achieve financial freedom by saying, well, you know, my 9-to-5 job makes me $200,000 a year. Let's say that's a pretty dang good 9-to-5 job. So if I could just make $200,000 a year here, I've achieved financial freedom. And then you make $200,000 a year in one of these businesses and you realize, holy crap, it's anything but free. It's actually the polar opposite. So at this point, which you might be thinking, I just need to get my first deal, or I need to get to that $200,000, along the way, you're gonna realize that bookkeeping and financial planning and having conversations with people that are way more intelligent regarding managing the money is how you actually get financial freedom. So how your company...
Yeah, so Simple CFO is named Simple CFO for a reason, right? We believe that the primary disconnect between most entrepreneurs or real estate investors and their advisors is language and overcomplication. So the first thing that we're going to do is simplify so that the book can be read like a children's storybook as opposed to some kind of medical journal.
I like that.
And we're going to focus on the key parts that you can actually control. There's many things in your financials that you can't control, but there are lots of levers that you can control. So we're going to simplify and focus on those and make it easy.
Really good, because you know, people don't really understand this, but I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Do you know why CFOs, CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, all these financial advisors make so much more money than like other people? It's because they've created language that you and I don't understand.
This is true.
And so what they do is they've created this massive barrier between them and us that we have to pay to bridge that gap in having them say, well, I know these words and I know this stuff and I know this thing and blah, 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 blah. And it just fries your brain to the point where you go, just take care of it for me and send me the bill. What's great about what you guys have done for us is you've simplified and shortened that gap to almost nothing. And you've made it easy for us to manage our finances.
And we've also, one of the principles of the methodologies we use, Profit First, for example, one of the core tenets of that system is to leverage what you're already doing, right? You're already doing what we call bank account finance, meaning you look at the bank account. If I got something in it, I spend the money.
Is that you?
If I don't have any money, I don't spend the money because I don't have it.
Eric, is that you? Are you using Simple CFO?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So what happens is, I lost my train of thought.
I can do that to people. I can throw people off just a little bit. So you were talking about scheduling a call with Simple CFO.
There you go, it's right there.
So how can somebody work with you? And is it something where I'm like, dude, I'm not quite ready for this until year 5? I feel like that's gotta be the number one thing, because in the industry, there's this massive gap of people operating in a place where they actually understand each other, right? You've got the brand new entrepreneur, and then you've got the high-end financial advisors and CFOs and accountants and all this kind of stuff. And most brand new business owners are like, that's too much money for me to bridge. I can't afford that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screw up my finances for about 5, maybe 7 years, hope that I can get through this, and then I have enough money to bridge that gap. What you guys have done is really taken this down to almost nothing. And most people don't know this, that this is actually an incredibly affordable solution. In fact, I don't think we would ever start another business without having you guys there with us from day one.
And that's true. A lot of people wait. The issue is we built packages to help people at whatever level that they're at. Obviously, they have to have revenue, right?
Do you guys have a free call though?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We have actually a series of calls if people want to, just discuss their situation. We have a.
The only situation they don't want to hear about is the divorce that you're going through, the fight you got in, whatever it is. They don't want to hear that kind of stuff. They want to hear how they can help you make money. So when they schedule a call, they're going to simplecfo.com?
SimpleCFOsolutions.com.
Okay, simplecfosolutions.com. Somebody stole Simple CFO. We should go and beat that person up. You know what I'm saying? So simplecfosolutions.com. You schedule a call. What should I expect on the call? and what kind of questions should I have ready for you guys?
The most important thing is to really understand what you would like to change financially about your business. If you,
Is the word
question,
everything like a good enough word?
Nope, you got to have something specific.
Got to be specific.
So you got to pick the most important thing. They'll probably ask you, and the question I think is, what are 3 things that you would like to change financially about your business? If you come up with one, you're going to be miles ahead. What's the most important thing that would change your life if you could change it today? And just think about it, right? It could be I need to have more deals, right? That's what everyone says.
Right.
Okay. And we'll teach you that that's great, but it's the deals you currently have and making sure that you're managing that money properly that'll lead to more deals.
It's a very common question I get when people say, Pace, I just made $30,000 on my first deal ever. What should I do with the money? People spend so much time thinking about how to get that first deal and they don't know what the heck to do with the freaking money. So you guys need to book a call with Simple CFO, but don't go to simplecfo.com because somebody took that. SimpleCFOsolutions.com. Now, the other thing that we use is we use bookkeepers. So for a very long time, I personally had a QuickBooks account and then I hired a full-time accountant because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I literally was burning through $5,000, $6,000 a month with somebody that couldn't accomplish what I'm now getting done with a couple $100s a month. And then same thing with you. It's like we had this moment in our other businesses where we were like, we don't know how to grow any further than this. And what I love about what you guys bring to the table is you have hundreds of other clients, expertise, and what people are doing right now in their business to plan for the next phase, the next thing.
Absolutely.
If it's out there, you guys have seen it.
I get surprises every day, believe it or not.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Guess what? I don't have to be the person that has to go learn those surprises. You bring that to Cody and our business.
No, we have a huge network of entrepreneurs and real estate investors at every level.
Guys, if you want to crowdsource your financial freedom, you want to go to somebody else that has the experience, what I would do is go to simplecfosolutions.com, book a call with Mike. Are they going to talk to you?
They're not going to talk to me, actually. They can at some point, but we have a whole team that they'll be talking to. You have to go through this guy if you want to talk to me first.
Yeah, that's right. Boom. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I know that with this YouTube video is a little bit long, but this is important and you should be taking action on this. So either go to startvirtual.com if you guys need a bookkeeper. Chances are you need a bookkeeper, and definitely go to simplecfosolutions.com. CFOs are not going to do my bookkeeping. That's the last, this is bonus. You guys don't do bookkeeping, do you?
No, however, we have several partners in the industry that we make sure know how to do real estate bookkeeping, and we will team you up with a bookkeeper. First thing we do is assess your current team. If you have one, if you don't, we're going to find somebody in the industry that can help.
Love it. All right,
and
guys.
guide you through that process.
Pretty amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.